You are live. So, I'm teaching computer science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and related since 2015, UNC Charlotte, where my travel started, or my journey began. Recently, one of the group I was sitting in a closed door discussion where I was directly asked what I think of software development and where this reality is heading. So, my answer that I shared with the group, I'm going to share with you, is that software development at its core is an exercise in translating human intention into formal executable logic. In my opinion, this process reveals itself to be far more intricate. And when I say it's far more intricate, that means a mere act of writing code, even with AI assistants capable of generating functions, debugging errors, or suggesting architectural patterns. The fundamental challenge remains understanding what truly needs to be built. While I started coding in 1988 in BASIC, the beginner all purpose symbolic instruction code, if you remember what it was, the hardest problem in software are not syntactic but semantic and conceptual. They involve wrestling with ambiguous requirements, anticipating edge cases that stakeholders have not discussed, might not even imagined, making trade offs between competing values like performance and maintainability, and designing systems that must evolve gracefully as business needs shift. We have all witnessed the paradigm shift in 2021 and 2022. Artificial intelligence can accelerate the translation of clear specifications into code, but it cannot substitute for the deep domain knowledge as well as creative problem solving, and not to forget the judgment required to determine whether you are building the right thing in the right way. The programmer's most valuable skill have never been typing but rather thinking through complexity, and that cognitive burden persists regardless of the tools at hand. In my experiential comprehension, and that I have experienced over 3 decades now, or 4 decades, the known entity software exists within an ecosystem of constraints that artificial intelligence cannot fully navigate autonomously. And I stand by my statement. These include legacy code bases with their accumulated technical debt, team dynamics, and communication challenges, security vulnerabilities that require adversarial thinking, performance bottlenecks that demand intimate knowledge of hardware and algorithms, and ever present reality that code must be maintained by humans long after it is written. I have seen that in COBOL and RPG and Fortran codes, where people who wrote that were no more. And that responsibility came to us. And I had to deal with that. Vibe coding might generate a working prototype quickly, but production software demands rigor in the form of comprehensive testing, consideration of failure modes, accessibility, scalability, and integration with existing systems. Last not least, the gap between it works on my machine and it works reliably for millions of users across diverse contexts remains vast. The AI tools are powerful, collaborators that elevate what develops or what is being developed by developers and developers can accomplish. But they amplify rather than eliminate the need for human expertise, judgment, and peculiar form of paranoid creativity requires to build systems that endure. Since you have now heard from me, who's practicing artificial intelligence for a long time, try vibe coding on a given scenario within your surrounding where you're sitting and see what happens. This is the mission that you have as an assignment if you choose to accept. Wish you best of learning. Stay tuned for more.